Boys, pain is everywhere. Life is suffering, but you already knew that. But what I'm really trying to say is pain is universal. Oh yeah, we're getting right into the video. So before I begin, I have to credit Mark Manson's book, Everything is Fucked, where he talks about the idea that pain is a universal experience and it's completely unavoidable. Basically, if you're alive, you feel pain in some way. Pain is an inherent part of life no matter how much we try to avoid it. It's not just physical pain like, ouch, I just stubbed my toe and that hurt, but both physical and emotional and even psychological, and you know what, there's all sorts of different pains that all count, but all of these struggles and pains come together and are part of the human experience and thus contribute to the universal pain. Like seriously, even people who are seemingly successful on the surface also suffer from some sort of pain. That was a lot of S's. What I'm saying is billionaires feel pain too, but it's just a different kind of pain from us common folk. Now, I'm not trying to defend billionaires. I'm just trying to make a point here, okay? Billionaires are weird, bro. But the key point here is to try and seek a better kind of pain. A pain that's better than your current one, if you will. So we gotta upgrade our pain to a better pain. Okay, you get the point. I know it sounds kind of silly, but is that not what life is all about already? You're always trying to thrive and do better, and why? So you can have better problems, which is better pains. How about I use some real world examples, such as the pain of poverty. When you think of poverty, you think of someone not having a roof over their head, not having money to feed themselves, basically struggling to stay alive. And I can tell you for a fact that is most definitely more painful than, let's say, not having money for retirement. Both are definitely problems that people face every day, and they do lead to pain and discomfort in some sort of way, but one is obviously a better problem to have. From the two pains I just laid out, I think you know which one you'd rather have. And the person living on the streets is most definitely suffering from more physical and emotional pain than the person who just has no savings for their retirement account. But the person without savings will still feel some sort of pain, whether it be emotional or something like that, but it's not going to be as bad. There's no physical pain associated with not having savings, at least not in the moment. Now, of course, the stress of this could lead to like stomach ulcers or, you know, shit like that, but honestly, that's just way out of the league of this right now, so I'm just not going to get into that. Okay, so we know that pain is universal, it's everywhere, and we all feel pain to some extent at all times. And no matter how much we try to avoid the pain by seeking out pleasure, pain is an inherent part of being alive, which actually leads me nicely to my next section, which is trying to avoid pain will not fulfill you any more than learning to embrace it. Mark argues in his book that no matter how much we try to avoid suffering or seek out pleasure, pain is just an inherent part of life. He explains that our attempts to avoid pain often lead us to pursue short-term pleasures or distractions, but these are only temporary and they won't offer long-lasting satisfaction. Let's take eating junk food. We know that eating junk food will make us look and feel worse provided that you eat enough over a long period of time. So why do we keep eating junk food if we know it's so bad for us? Well, usually we eat this shit food because we're trying to avoid some sort of pain that we're not dealing with. It's just short-term pleasure that tries to distract us from our pain, but unfortunately, it's only temporary and it's just gonna lead to more pain over time. It's like a vicious negative feedback cycle. It's nasty, man. Now, you already know that you can't outrun your pain. The only way to deal with it, well, is to deal with it. Yeah, sometimes random pains do come and go. You know, we've had those random things that just kind of resolve on their own, but sometimes we get some pains that will only go if we deal with it. Again, let's use an example because I love examples. They're fun. Why are you always tired? Is it because you drink soda or alcohol right before bed and it ruins your sleep quality so you wake up all groggy and then, well, yeah, probably that's why it is. But you already know that it's tough to quit that bad habit because it makes you feel so good in the moment. You already know what you need to do to get rid of that pain of having bad sleep and always being tired. But the question is, are you willing to trade that smaller pain of not having that drink at night so that you can get rid of that bigger pain of having better sleep, which makes you less tired overall? This actually just comes back to the idea of trading pains. You're just trying to make a small painful sacrifice so that you can get rid of a bigger painful thing in your life. Now, obviously, if it were as easy as, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this bad habit because it sucks and it's ruining my life, and then you just stop. Well, if that were the case, then no one would be suffering from any bad habits because you could just quit on the spot and just snap your fingers. But you know it just simply doesn't work that way. Everybody has their vices. I do too. Now, I'm not trying to go through this whole video and say that, oh yeah, like this is what you gotta do because I'm perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I still suffer from eating junk food. I don't get the greatest sleep because I don't sleep enough, and it's because I go to bed a little bit too late. Like, I have problems too that I'm trying to deal with, but I'm trying to trade these pains for better pains. And if I were to add on to this point, we also often seek distractions like pleasure or materialism to try and escape the pain, but we know for a fact that it only offers short-term comfort and it does not give you long-lasting satisfaction. I mean, let's look at that classic example of keeping up with the Joneses. We like to buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people that we don't give a shit about. It sounds sad, and it's also way more common than you think, and this kind of vicious cycle ends up being a pain in itself. It's almost like you're trying to run away from your pain by, having these distractions, but they just lead to more pain. It's not good. I already talked about this vicious cycle. It's a dangerous thing. But anyways, now that we know that pain is a universal constant that we should try to not hide or run away from for short-term pleasure, it's time to learn to embrace it so we can grow and get stronger. Mark suggests in his book that by accepting pain as a necessary part of growth rather than avoiding it, we can grow and try to find deeper meaning in our lives. Just think about it for a second. Why are there so many, usually rich, people in the world that are handed everything in life without any challenges and are still not happy? How is it that sometimes they're more depressed and unfulfilled with their life than the average person who works for everything that they have in their life? Like seriously, they should be happy, right? They have everything. Well, here's the thing. Our struggles and how we handle problems in our life literally shape who we are as people. You see, by not struggling, you can't find that meaning and fulfillment in your life. And well, without meaning or fulfillment, what's the point of life? Why bother living? It's hard to find a reason to live when you don't have any meaning or fulfillment in your life. Also, I want to pivot because this is taking a dark turn real fast. We literally create our own meaning, and usually that's going to come through some sort of effort. And well, guess what? Effort is painful. I think you get where I'm going with this. But basically, we gotta embrace pain and learn from the challenges it presents us in our everyday lives, because that's how you grow and become a better person overall. How do you expect to grow if you don't put in the reps? That's like wondering why your body is weak and you have no muscles, yet you don't go to the gym to put in the work. That's a pretty obvious thing that everybody knows, but the thing is, life works the exact same way. You have to put in the work to grow. And the thing is, if people know that not going to the gym is not going to result in muscles, I think we should probably realize that life is kind of the same way. Now, obviously, just pure pain alone by itself won't make your life meaningful or fulfilling in any way. That's on you to decide what's worth struggling for to add meaning to your life. But I did actually make a really good video about finding the meaning in your life, and you should definitely check that video out after watching this one. But first, make sure you drop a like and a sub.